This is Brianna McNary, and we're keeping it raw and real on and off the field.
Dr. Bill, I have the pleasure of standing here with Mr. Larry. He is the chairman of the Orange Blossom Project. So I'm really honored to have you join me here on Off the Field. It's been a long time coming. I wanted to meet you. You may have not known that, but I'm glad that you can join me right here at the Orange Blossom Project. Welcome. So talk about the importance of having this event right here in Miami.
Well, first of all, I think it's a big heavy. I think it's just a community purpose, hope, a show. When you start talking about kids having an opportunity to go to college, being engaged, HBCUs are not like they were 30, 40, 50 years ago. But even when I was being out of high school in the early 90s, it was a different process. It was a different game. You know, everybody wanted to go to PWI opposed to HBCU. I think the culture has changed. Orange Blossom Classic exposes kids. And not only exposes kids, it exposes the university to the South Florida athletes. Recruiting budgets are a little different. These schools where sometimes they can't always get to South Florida and be able to see these recruits. Coming down here to play, these kids get an opportunity to go to the practice, watch the practice, come to the games, his coaches. They could go visit the high school and connect with the high school coach in the South Florida area. So I think the more exposure you have, the better off, the better opportunity, the more doors that open. And I think the Orange Blossom Classic gives not only the students, but the universities, the eyes of South Florida, which is the best football.
That's right. I was going to get to you. Just talking about that. But what I want to ask, is when it comes to HBCUs, right? What are some of the advantages they have right now academically and in the sports industry?
Well, I've been very fortunate because even though I went to the University of Florida, graduated from the University of Florida, both of my boys went to HBCUs.
Okay.
My oldest boy went to Fayetteville State. My youngest boy graduated and went to North Carolina Central. And he got his undergrad and his master's at Central. Of course, again, my oldest boy got his master's. His undergrad at Fayetteville State. So I think the HBCU offer an opportunity, a chance, growth, the men truly can teach. And they don't just push you through the process, no matter how smart you are. It's one thing, but it's the wisdom that's given in the process that really carries you through later on in life. And I think the HBCUs give you that wisdom to deal with a lot more things that are more realistic in life, opposed to just information. This is what it is. You learned it. You got education with it. Go figure it out. They give you a baseline of what it really is and what it should look like and what it should be like, and they help you guys through the process.
Right. Yeah, I mean, these leaders out there, but this year, 2024, to be a part of the 2024 cohort of the White House, so many people may not know that, but that's a huge accomplishment, right? That's a huge milestone.
Well, the other thing is when you start talking about an Alabama State, a lot of people are not familiar with Alabama. So the Orange Blossom Classic gives a university like Alabama State an opportunity to get on the national stage, national presence, national TV. Now you got the eyes of the country on Alabama State, on North Carolina Central, whereas that wasn't always the case before. They didn't always get the TV presence. They didn't always get TV time. The players didn't get the TV time. So now they get as much opportunity, change as every other kid, and the opportunity to showcase their talents worldwide opposed to just locally or in the classic.
Right. What are some of the changes that you've seen in the sports world when it comes to, I would say covering HBCU sports? Right. Obviously, Deion Sanders was kind of instrumental in that as well, but what are some other changes that you've seen?
Well, Deion was definitely instrumental, but there's a lot of people on the grassroots level that really helped HBCU.
Right.
And I think, first of all, it was people understanding what HBCU meant.
Right.
A lot of people didn't even understand or really knew what HBCU meant. So once I think they was defined, and once I think people understood how important it was to our country and to our culture, and the power behind the HBCU brand, a lot of things got thrown at it. A lot of people got more interested in it because the HBCU brand is a very powerful brand on its own that is being recognized, I think, throughout many industries, not just sports, just throughout. Professionally, personally, athletically, it's out there. Corporate America recognized HBCU. Whereas I'm not sure 20, 30 years ago, many people really knew or recognized the HBCU or gave it the respect that it deserves, even though you look at the names that was involved in some of the HBCU colleges and universities that's in corporate America, whether it's doctors, judges, politicians, sports figures. If you look at the names, it's mind-boggling. It's historic. I mean, and I think our kids now are taking that and taking advantage of it. I was just at the enshrinement of the Pro Football Hall of Fame last week, a couple months ago. And you look on that stage of the NFL Hall of Fame, I think it's 378 total NFL Hall of Fames, like 130 living Hall of Fames still, one of the most prestigious Hall of Fames. If you look at the number of Hall of Fames that are from HBCUs, it'll blow your mind. It'll be surprising, but it's actually, it's good to see. You know, it's a good feeling to realize that, hey, those guys maybe not got the credit where they were from initially. Gary Rice, you heard Mississippi Valley State, but nobody really knew. Nobody really knew Jack State and Walter Payton. You know, a lot of new names, they threw the schools out there, but they didn't throw the HBCU behind. Now, it's the HBCU moniker behind it, support behind it, the engine behind it, and it's pushed out there in a different way. And you see it throughout the league.
I mean, we have an HBCU down here in South Florida, Plymouth, Talk about Plymouth,
Well, I think Florida Memorial, you know, football is fairly new in the big scheme of things.
Yeah.
You know, the big scheme of things, I think a lot of people knew about Florida Memorial, but until they added football, I think they became a national brand.
Yes.
You know, and I spoke at a symposium at Florida Memorial a couple of days ago. Very good school. Campus is great. I mean, they got a lot of things to offer. The kids were very engaging. I never sat on really a symposium and had the attention of a crowd like that for 2 hours.
Oh wow!
To hold that crowd for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That said a lot. Not only about the panelists, but the kids in that audience that was so engaging, and they want more and they want better, and that's what I like.
Wow, I love to hear that. I mean, it's representation matters, right?
Representation and access matters.
Right.
You can have representation, but somebody has to have the access, and they have to have the willingness to show you, to show you how. Because sometimes getting started is the hardest part.
Well, Mr. Larry, I thank you for joining me on Off the Field because you've given some great insight into, HBCUs landscape, some of the changes, some of the advantages, and all the greatness that comes from it. I mean, we're standing around it right here, right now, including yourself. So, thank you for joining me on Off the Field, and I look forward to seeing you.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I mean, with my company, Riddell Sports, I'm the national key account manager at Riddell Sports. We're managing NFL college football. What we did at Riddell, of course, I put the HBCU brand up under Division 17 to give it the attention to detail nationally. So we're doing a lot of things with HBCUs.
I love to hear that. People need to know that, and they need to hear about it. So, how do people get in contact with you, though? If they have a question, if you have students who have a question for you, right? How can they reach out to you?
Well, of course, I would love just my LinkedIn. I would say go through my LinkedIn,
right?
And keep it simple. Just go to my LinkedIn, Larry Kennedy Jr. Matter of fact, and I think that's a start.
It is because most student athletes, you should have a LinkedIn if you don't by now, right?
Well, if you're gonna keep it professional, that's where we're gonna start.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, thanks again, Mr. Larry.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to the